All right, so for this training video, we will focus on the housing placement and leasing dashboard, and more specifically, we will cover utility assistance. So, with utility assistance, if a client has a utility allowance that is identified in the rent reasonableness, and then ultimately during the rent calculation steps in lease submission, um, a button will appear for a client or a case manager to request utility assistance on behalf of a client. Now, if you are interested in reviewing those steps for unit identification and lease submission, please feel free to check out our videos on unit identification and lease submission. We will not cover that during the video today. So for this video, we will be using Peter Griffin. Peter Griffin is a fake client. The data that we will be using today is fictional data. The client Peter is enrolled in an AFC demo program with a demo grant for subsidy, and all information is made up. So with that being said, my name is Aziza Nassar. I am the instructor for this video. I'm the Senior Manager of Quality Assurance and Improvement. And with that, let's go ahead and get started. In the housing status alerts section, what you'll notice is, as I've mentioned, if utility allowance is available, this button will appear. So you'll notice a red box that says utility assistance request needed. It also gives you some information about the lease as well as how much assistance was approved for this client. So you'll see here I have $158 worth of utility assistance that I can request for Peter. I'm going to click this button to take us into the workspace. So you'll notice that similar to the unit identification workspace, as well as the lease submission workspace, the utility assistance request page follows kind of the same sort of structure. So as I mentioned in previous videos, things highlighted or color coded in red are areas in which you want to pay attention to, right? So what you'll notice here at the top is the lease information that we've entered in previous steps. So here's the client, the unit information, as well as the lease terms. Then in the middle here, you'll see on the left-hand side is the utility allowance information. So this allowance, the utility allowance, was calculated when you identified the housing unit for the client. And then on the right, you will also notice the utility assistance eligibility. And this was based on the rent calculation, which is a utility reimbursement that we did in the lease submission steps. Again, if you notice that there are things that are missing here for utility allowance that you know that your client is responsible for, you want to review those steps before you get here. This is based on information that I've entered in the two processes before. So with that being said, it looks like Peter Griffin has electric and natural gas, and it looks like there are 4 utilities that are under electric that they're responsible for, as well as 3 natural gas utilities. And if I wanted to look at the details, I can click that little box and it'll tell me all of the breakdown of the different utilities that the client is responsible for, as well as the allowance that was made available for this client. Now you'll see on the right hand here, the adjusted household monthly income is $33.33. The client's not paying anything, but also here you'll see at the bottom is the total eligible monthly utility assistance amount. So this is what our total assistance needs to add up to. Once you scroll down at the bottom, you'll notice that here is where I am going to be making the request. And the request step is really broken up by utility type. It's not broken up by the actual individual utilities. It's broken up by the larger, broader categories of that utility. So, for example, you'll see here there are different utilities that are under electric or different utilities that are under natural gas, right? But it's collapsed under each utility type, and that's what you'll see at the bottom here. So the total electric assistance, for example, is 119 for this client because that's what this utility type is, right? And so here is where I can request the electric vendor and payee. So I'm going to say this $119 should go to ComEd and indicate the account number that is on the bill. You want to make sure that you're checking this number against the bill that you're going to submit, because this is also going to be part of the next steps that we'll cover during this video. Now, again, even though there are multiple utilities that are gas, right? So here we have cooking and we have water heating, as well as this fixed charge that are gas. We're doing the total, right? So the $39 is the total allowance for natural gas. So we're going to go ahead and just enter the gas vendor. So here, let's say it's Nicor Gas. I'll select that from the list. And again, you want to make sure that you are entering the correct account number. Now, once you've done that, you want to compare, is this dollar amount here, this utility assistance amount, the same as this eligibility amount? And if so, what you'll see is there's a button that appears for you to save and continue. Now, if these do not match, or you did not enter all of the utility allowances, here you didn't request them, this button will not appear, meaning you have to request all the assistance before this button will appear. But now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and save and continue. And that brings me to the workspace. As I've mentioned, a lot of our new functionality around housing placement, lease submission, and now utility assistance follows this sort of same structure. So here you see the lease information again. Here is what we requested in terms of assistance. And then now at the bottom, the only thing I have left to do is upload a copy of both the electric bill as well as the gas bill. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to be just a document upload straight from my computer. And then I have just the gas utility bill. And now that both checklists are color-coded in green, I am ready to submit. And once I am ready, I can go ahead and hit save and submit. And this will take me right back to the dashboard. What you'll notice too is this alert section is now switched. It is no longer red, and it is now has now alerted our rental payment processing team to let them know, hey, Aziza has submitted a utility assistance request and that they need to review it. With that covers our utility assistance. Feel free to check out our other videos on unit identification and lease submission. Thank you.